We have in today probably the most iconic home arcade game system that I know of. It's the Neo Geo AES, with the arcade version being called the MVS. This brought the real arcade games back to the home. This one's come in for a full upgrade, so it's having the UniBIOS, it's having a clean power, it's having clean RGB, it's getting maxed out. So this is the console. You can see how big it is, it's absolutely massive. And everything about this console has large features like the arcade. The controller, the most common one, is this giant arcade stick, which is as big as the console itself. And if that wasn't enough, the games are just as big as both of them. So with this setup, you definitely need some room, but you will get a true arcade experience. Inside the Neo Geo AES, just like the SNES and many other consoles, there's tons of variants. The real danger with the Neo Geo AESs is they are a fortune to buy these days. £800 to £1,000 is the average price. And this DC jack on the back can be both 5 volts or 9 volts, and they did not change the jack between models. Some have a regulator like this and an inductor, which means you can put 9 volts in safely. However, other variants don't have that and expect 5 volts directly, and plugging in even the official Neo Geo plug that fits in the back of this in a different model can blow the entire console up. So wisely the customers opted to upgrade this to USB-C clean power. That will prevent that from ever happening in the future, and it allows you to power this much easier. Before we do any work, let's just prove the state of the console. We've got RGB plugged in. We can power straight from the bench at 5 volts here on this specific model. And let's take a look at the quality. So you can see this blue should blend in as a pure blue, and it doesn't. And there's a complete checkerboard pattern all across the screen, which is clock noise. So you see that checkerboard pattern there. And if we try with a game, we can see we have ghosting and artifacts. We've got the noise here, but overall it's not terrible, but the colours aren't quite right, and there's some cleanup to be done. And that's the clean power mod done. This isn't actually out, it's just a prototype hacked together. And all the old regulation removed and obviously correctly set. We now just need to make sure we use a high quality USB. So I've just got a Nintendo Switch USB-C here for now. The green light indicates that the power is good coming into here. So we can see that means we have power on this cable. And if we turn on with no gaming, we should see that we'll get that blue screen, which we do. So now we have the clean power up and running. It's time to fully recap this. That's all the old capacitors off and all new ones installed. I've gone ahead and socketed the BIOS ready for the UniBIOS. Let's just confirm everything currently works the same. Yep, so everything's still fine. So let's just remove the stock BIOS and install one of our UniBIOSes. And now when we turn on, you now get a white screen, which is a sign you've got the UniBIOS in. The UniBIOS goes white screen with no game, and the stock goes blue. If you want to know what the UniBIOS does, go to retro6.wiki. In the Neo Geo section, it talks about all the features that you can do. You can change the region, change the mode, change coin settings, there's hidden menus, there's all kinds of neat things you can do. So the last step now is to put the clean RGB in to fix the crosshatches, get the levels and brightness set correctly, and all this is open source on the wiki, so this doesn't look too bad as mentioned. And what the mods will do is take it from this to this when we're done. So you can see the brightness level is all correct and the colours are correct, and we also remove the crosshatch. All the mods to do this again are open source on the wiki, and you can see the brightness of white levels gets fixed, all the colour gets very noticeably improved. So this is something you'll see when we've done the mod. Now it's all reassembled, it's just time to pick a game. Now the biggest question is, which game do we play? So we have the classics, like King of Fighters. There's loads of versions. We've got a multi-cart, which I'll probably try out. I've not even tried it since getting it, but it's got hundreds of games on. Or I've got some loose carts down here. But you can see the size of these things. This is why it's so awesome. It's literally an arcade ROM inside of this, so it feels really cool when you put this in the console. And let's try King of Fighters 94. You can see those arcade graphics here. They look really good. Obviously, I'm going to try and fight with one hand now. See how well I can do. Oh, nearly halfway. But that's another one all up and running, guys. I'll get this one back to the customer and I'll catch you next.